Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. It is Tuesday, July 1st, believe it or not, 4:05 p.m. This meeting is audio video recorded. Anything you say or share will be shown on the town's YouTube. Please act accordingly. If anyone in the audience would like to record, please let the chair know. And with that, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Regular board, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. I'd like to point out that the comments from the public are, as been advertised and stated at meetings for quite some time now, should be directed to HDC public comment at nantucket-ma.gov. Comments are due by 8 a.m. the Monday prior to the meeting. Commissioner discussion and vote. HDC meeting schedule, July 29th, 25 through October 21, 25. Does anyone have any concerns on the schedule? And if not, can we get a motion to approve as recommended by staff?
Motion to approve.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries. Can get a motion to approve, ratify the discussion of June 24th, establishing a HDC deer fence work group of HDC members.
Move to ratify.
Okay, so on the motion, dual motion, Commissioner Pohl and McLeod. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried unanimously. And just like that, we're on to consents. Kathy has provided, staff has provided a agenda modification. Can I have a motion to move number 10 of consent with conditions, number 3 under the heading 3 consent with conditions, number 10, 13 Beachgrass Road, to consents?
Let me make sure I got this right here.
So
13 Beachgrass, number 10 under conditions is going on to consent.
is subject to motion approval of the commission.
Got it.
Any concerns? Motion
Motion to approve
to move that?
that move.
Okay, regular board, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries. So recusals of regular members on the consents, we have
Me,
Ray,
Carrie.
Carrie, so Carrie won't sit. Anyone else?
Nope.
Okay, and Connie is here, so why don't we, for the purposes of a voice vote, go to Connie stepping in for Ray, who is an agent on some of these. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the consent.
All in favor of the sitting members, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Okay, now we are on the consent with conditions,
I have to sit off.
minus 13 Beachgrass. Val is sitting off. Anyone else? Me. We got some feedback. Ray. Anyone else? So why don't we do, is Joe with us?
He is,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, he's online.
Great. Hey, Joe, can you sit on these? And
Yes, sir.
Carrie?
Yep.
Okay, great. So it'll be Angus, Abby, myself, Joe, and Carrie. Is there a motion to approve consent with conditions?
Move to approve consent with conditions.
All right, all in favor, Angus on your motion?
Aye.
Abby?
I'm an aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
And I'm an aye, carries unanimously. We are now on to signs. I understand 57 Main, the applicant would like to be heard by the full board. We will have a discussion on that topic momentarily. So taking number 2, 57 Main out of the mix, is there a recommendation to accept the sign committee's, is there a motion to accept the sign committee's recommendations?
That's my motion.
Regular board, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Okay, Nikki, you're with us.
I am.
Nikki Shara.
Hi.
Hey, can you give us a rundown on 57 Main Street, and then we're going to make a decision whether we want to proceed with hearing it as a full board, or we're going to remand it back to the sign committee.
Okay. So SAC recommended holding the application this morning for several reasons. They felt that both the application and the board would benefit from input from all 5 members. Only 3 members were present this morning. And then additionally, they also requested more specific details about the proposal, including the exact paint colors that will be used and also just an overall finalized design of the sign.
Okay, so I just want to restate that to make sure I understand. Sign Advisory Committee was less than a full membership. They felt that a full membership was beneficial. The application does not include complete information with respect to colors nor the final design.
Correct. There's only images. It's a painted wall sign, aka a ghost sign, because most of it has been removed over the years, but they just felt like they needed exact colors or probably an image of what it used to be and just an overall proposal of what the end result will be.
Okay. So the question is to you, regular members, as a matter of procedure, do we want to be, regardless of the subject matter, at which we can bring up to Sign Advisory Committee under separate cover, something like this, do we want to be weighing in on these applications at this point, or?
No, I trust the sign committee's
Okay.
judgment.
Angus,
I agree.
right?
I agree with that, but I will say, I understand why the applicant in this case was concerned that they just had a 3-member board.
Right.
Now, that's a little bit of a handicap, so that's unfortunate. But no, in principle, I certainly agree that I want things to move through that committee because they're much better versed in the language of the guidebook than we are.
Okay, great. And I mean, I agree with everything that's been said, and my recommendation to the applicant or the applicant's agent is take a straight-on shot, scale it, put some dimensions on it, the straight-on image, and add the paint color so that when you sit with the Sign Advisory Committee, you can be second time in done versus having an incomplete application in their minds. We aren't going to weigh in as a commission on whether we would make a determination on what was presented because we're not going to get in the habit of doing that. Okay, so that, can I get a motion to have 57 Main Street, actually we don't need a motion, it's on the agenda at Sign Advisory Committee and we did not act on it here today. So we are going to move on to Commissioner Q&A with Preservation Planner. Is Holly on the Zoom?
She is, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
Mr. Chair, I'm
Hey,
here.
Holly.
Sorry, I'm not in
Great.
person
Good
as well.
afternoon. No, that's okay. We appreciate you signing in. Does anyone have questions for Holly on staff comments?
I do.
Okay, so we'll start with Val.
Likely, Holly, it's because it takes me a while to adapt to change, and poor Kathy had to like talk me how to find everything. I wondered where you were on 117 Orange, move off, and 4 Underhill Lane. I know that was held, but,
They both were held.
okay, they were both held,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Never mind.
Sorry, Holly, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair, to Holly and to Val, when I amended the agenda this afternoon, the applicant's agent wanted to hold 117 Orange Street till 7/15/25. But Holly, I'm sure, has comments still about that.
Okay, I'll save my questions, Hall.
Thank
I had
you.
one question
Angus?
regarding Willard, 13A Willard, the skirt and following the resiliency guidelines. So that, there was information in there about, different ways of having, hydrostatic breakthrough panels and so forth, and that it works with lattice, but the boarding, could you please shed some light on the as-built that's presented?
Yes, thank you.
And how that could or can't work?
Thank you, Angus, for that. Yeah, so this is an as-built you all approved with lattice, with a vent on the other side, which allows the water to go through. That's per the approved that was elevation certificate that was submitted. Not only that, it also appears that this board skirting is not going to allow the water to penetrate. So if that's the case, I think that it would be fair for the board to request, as I indicated in my comments, for the elevation certificate to be updated or confirmed, if you will, from the surveyor engineer, Mr. Bracken, on how this new fence, skirt will meet the requirements for FEMA. It's not clear, as well as it's not really recommendation within our design guidelines within Nantucket. So I would defer to what you all have previously approved on the original approval.
Thanks,
Okay,
Ally.
thank you, Holly. Angus, does that address your question to your satisfaction in terms of understanding?
It sounds like we need more information from the applicant.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, any other questions for Holly at this point?
I have something completely on.
Okay, Ray?
I'm hearing that feedback again. It's
Oh.
driving me nuts. I can't
Mr.
concentrate
Chair
on it.
and Mr. Vice Chair, I just texted Kevin from the NCTV. He's looking into it.
He's gonna check into it.
Yeah, he's looking into it. Yeah.
Okay. Holly, do you want to, I apologize I wasn't able to attend the CLG meeting on Friday, but is there anything you want to recap from that while you have us captive and on the YouTube?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, so sorry we didn't have you and Ray at the meeting. We had pretty much a full house, I think, of everybody but the two of you. I think it was a good meeting. Both boards did approve last year's minutes. Those will be available for the both commissions to have on file, and they will be posted on the agenda. We will be receiving minutes from Miss Abby DeLamina, who's been doing minutes for the CLG. I think it was good conversations, good questions. There are some follow-ups that I will be providing to both boards, so stay tuned.
Okay, thank you, Holly. Okay, with that, we are going to move on. Oh, I just wanted to comment, your indulgence for a moment. Kathy had sent out an update on the consent process. Obviously, if you have any questions that she'd offer, reach out to her offline. That was a result of a recommendation Kathy provided and a meeting with Leslie to kind of resolve how that would work out. And we're hopeful that it's going to make things easier for staff and it will work well for the commissioners. So we'll stay tuned on that topic. Now we are on to new business of 415 10 Straight Wharf. Linda?
You don't have a new plan.
So, good evening, Miss Williams. You may want to adjust the microphone.
Think that's a little tall?
Yeah.
Who is my board?
Your board is a fresh board, so it's all the elected members, and your alternates are the alternates, should this carry into another meeting and someone needs to step in.
Joe's up there, right?
Yes.
It's under new business.
I know it is, but I.
It's a revision to the prior.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Linda,
we
can
met
you-
with Holly and we changed it out for Holly's request.
All right, can you walk us through this with some speed, please?
Okay.
It's Abby's mic.
So
Abby
we
has
can
the
share
back
this
mic.
one. How's that sound?
Do we have a TikTok timer? Oh, we may have solved the problem.
I wonder if it's the fact that your mics are all really close to each other.
No, what it is that sometimes if
Yours
the
are
mic's
really
more than
close.
one mic is on, it will feedback. If everybody turns their mics off until they're speaking,
So we have.
it doesn't have a
We
feedback.
have
Well,
feedback.
that's the easy one, but that's
Yeah.
really difficult for all of us.
Because the Concom goes through at the same time.
But you guys aren't hearing it now, right?
No,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
we fixed it.
So
and then-
watch, I'll put it on and
Diddle, diddle, diddle.
Turn yours off.
That's
Okay.
Turn yours off.
So that's the bad mic, and the feedback about the feedback can stop, and we'll pick up on 10 Straight Wharf, please.
10 Straight Wharf, it's a small addition on the west side of the structure. We had previously had a couple years ago an approval for a substantial addition in the back where we enclose the deck and under the deck, which you can see in that picture above you. But we're giving that up because we need more interior space in the retail part of the structure, not the office part of the structure in the back. So we're doing a side addition. Holly asked us to move it back even further, which we did. So it is going back 2 feet from the front plane and with a couple of small dormers, and it rolls up fairly close to the property line on the west because we're allowed a 0 setback on the west in the CDT, whatever it is downtown. And there it is. The 6 light doors match the ones that are already there, as well as the one to the right, which is a single. The 6 light is true divided light. That matches the one on the right that's already there. And the dormer is a small dormer for light on the front, a small dormer on the light in the back. It's going to be storage and maybe some extra office space up there because it's very cramped in the second floor on the back. Holly also asked us to put in floor plans, more fleshed out floor plans, which we did, because before they were blank on both floors. So that is pretty much it. All the details are to match the existing. And that's pretty much where it is.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead, Kathy, what? Yeah. I'll talk about the PowerPoint presentation style that we have here at the HDC and best practices another time. Val, did you have questions?
No, I can.
You'll address them when you-
I have a question. I wasn't able to access the plans on the tablet.
So just a, point of whatever,
Right.
these don't work right now. They don't have the updated information.
Yeah.
So we're relying on this right now.
Or
Oh,
hard
I was
copies.
using the link that Kathy had sent for the meeting, which has some things.
some of them.
The OneDrive.
So let me just highlight something, and I believe this is being resolved. The tablets we don't have, that we use, that the town provided so graciously, as small as they are, the Matchbox tablets this is like as big as my phone screen, for God's sake. Those tablets do not all have email addresses that you are privy to, so you can get the link, so you can then access the OneDrive, so you can look at the files as we used to do on the internet. My understanding is that's being fixed, it's just not fixed yet, is that correct? Okay. The other thing just to mention is we are trying to cycle out these tiny little tablets for larger tablets that we can actually look at plans on. Until then, we are gonna be, if you have a tablet that you have email access on, you can get to the files, such as yourself. I believe Angus is saying that he couldn't access this particular file in that manner.
That's right.
Okay, I wasn't able to either. In both instances, we're looking at the screen, so what I would ask is we kind of just focus up there and go from there. Val?
Well, Mr. Chairman, if you want to hold it till the next meeting, until you can get, there's quite a substantial backup file to this one as well, which which you're not going to have time to go through. There were 2 sections to this particular application.
Well, let me get just quickly poll the board. Do we think that it's worthwhile to review the full file based on the elevations we've seen, or do we want to proceed with this now?
This is the only thing I've seen.
Right, do we want to flip through the elevations? just
Well,
to
a
see?
floor plan would be helpful
Yeah,
as far
it's
as
all in
depth
there.
of what's.
Fiona, can we see the floor plan and then the elevations, not super quickly, but like 15 seconds each?
The main body of it is in this section.
Linda, please hold on just a second. If you, perfect, okay. Okay, and then the elevations, if you can zoom out a little bit for the elevations, they're a little bit,
That's no change on that side.
okay?
I gave you the cut through, so you can see how the floor's working. That's the west side
Right.
at the almost zero setback.
Okay,
That dormer does not run into the other piece, by the way.
okay,
That's looking at it from the back, which is the north, which is Stone Alley, but there's the big deck in front of it, and this is quite far forward compared to Stone, what is that, Still Dock behind it. Yeah,
okay. Next elevation, please.
that is the front elevation again.
And there should be one more.
I think you went by it already.
Okay, my suggestion is we review the full packet, and we give us an opportunity to do a view, and we can hear it at the next meeting.
The viewing is
Does anyone
great.
have a concern with that approach?
Basically reviewing it at the next meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get a
that's
chance to look at the plan, look at the documentation, but also do a view in case anybody wants to refresh with the drawings in front of
So
them.
July 8th?
How busy is it?
Right now, I only have 3 people signed up.
Oh, let's hope, we can be hopeful. Okay, so can we get a motion to hold for a view and an opportunity for the commissioners to review the file?
And come back on July 8th?
Come back on July 8th, towards the beginning of the meeting.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Okay. So
Because,
that's good.
Mr. Chairman, just a aside on this, if there's any public comment about it, the public can't get into these, neighbors can't get into the view pack, nobody can get into anything.
So the town, IT and other leadership are working on the issue, and we're all hopeful, believe me, that it gets resolved quickly, and I think that's the direction they're taking.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's quickly,
Okay, well, sometimes quickly is,
relative.
relative. Okay, let's see, 5 Meter Street.
We're
that is
holding
on
for the
hold.
architect to fix it.
Okay, are there any abutters in the queue on that?
Not that I know of, but it's held till 7/8 anyway on the agenda.
And I spoke to
From the
the attorney, I
Yeah.
spoke to the
Yeah.
attorney for the abutter to
Linda,
let him know.
please. We just want to keep moving on. Okay, let's see. That brings us to new business of May 20th, 10R Academy Lane, 2 applications, demo move-up cottage and new cottage are on hold until 7/15. That's 2 weeks' notice, so regardless of any other factor, the applicant's agent has met the requirements. There's no potential penalties or demerits.
Well, Mr. Chair, that was because the abutters information was incorrect, so they had to resend the abutters.
Okay,
So-
still, they've met
Yeah.
they're still 2 weeks out, so
Yeah.
we're good. Thank you for clarifying that, so we'll know if somebody asks in the future. We're now on to, we're gonna do as a group, 3, 4, and 5, 62 Winoma Way.
So,
which
Mr.
are
Chair?
Color changes.
Those 3 applications were withdrawn today, right before the meeting.
Boy, we're not even gonna have time to eat pizza
No,
tonight
we're
at
not.
this rate. Especially since my group were not reviewed for consent. I have a feeling they're gonna be like flashes in the pan. Okay, so we, just for the records, May 20th, numbers 3, 4, and 5, all 62 Winoma Way color changes have been withdrawn, and that's, we don't need to vote on that.
No.
And, okay, so Nantucket Electric, 5 Candle Street, rehab the brick building. Linda, Arthur, good evening. I see you guys have a group here.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, and members of the board. For the record, Attorney Arthur Reed, representing Nantucket Electric Company, National Grid, in connection with this application for the rehabilitation of the structure at 5 Candle Street. If you recall, there was an enforcement proceeding that was before the board with a minimum maintenance discussion at, I believe, meeting in, early January. And in any event, at that time, with regard to this property, it was represented by us that we were proceeding with our structural engineer, Peter Reynolds, who is here tonight, to rehabilitate the structure, that Mr. Reynolds had determined that the condition of this building was such that it was suitable for repair and rehabilitation. We said that it would take some time to have the plans drawn and prepared for the application, and we would be able to submit by June. We did in fact submit by June. It's July 1st. We're before the board, and Mr. Reynolds is here to present what we're doing. So with that.
Thank you, Arthur.
So,
Excuse me, can you name your name for the record, please? Your name for the record.
Peter Reynolds.
Thank you.
Good
So-
evening, Peter.
So I will explain exactly what we're doing to the building. The first on the upper left is the east facade of the building. And where the old roof of the building on the east side of this was taken out, we're going to fix all the bricks on the gable end and remove all the remnants of flashings from the roof. That black line that's halfway up the gable end, that horizontal black line, yeah, that right there.
Yeah, labeled that way.
Oh, is that,
Says south.
sorry, south side. And every one of those pilasters, there's one, two, there's four of them there. They're all broken off the building. So all those pilasters are going to be rebuilt. All the bricks that are in the corbelled, that are all corbelled out to that horizontal area below the black line, all those pilasters are going to be completely removed and rebuilt because every one of them's cracked and separated off the building. The wooden areas, those four green areas are going to be removed and rebuilt with brick. The door is going to be replaced. On the leftmost green area, that wood infill, the door that's there is in terrible condition. That's going to be replaced. And lighting, night lighting is going to be installed on all four sides of the building. But it's going to be that dark sky, like 70% down light. And next, so the north side there is in really tough condition. So a good portion of that wall needs to be actually removed and rebuilt. And where the old roof of the demoed building ties in, we had that, it's hard to see there, but we had that same black line flashing against this. And we had they broke into the gable end bricks that were corbelled out. Those are going to be repaired. And once again, all those vertical piers were broken. Those are going to be rebuilt. And the wood infill green area that you can see on the right, that's all going to be replaced and bricked in. So to make the building more structurally sound too. And on the left side of the north side, we've got a new 12 by 14 foot overhead door planned to be installed. So on the lower right there, that's the west side. Once again, where cracked, the pilasters are going to be removed and replaced. The glass blocks are going to be replaced where broken, and there's quite a few of them that are broken. The very left end of that west side is where the roof of the old building, you can see the big notch in the brick, kind of at the top of the glass block on the left side. That's all going to be replaced. And there's deteriorated bricks here and there throughout that facade that are going to be removed and replaced also. Currently, that 8x8 overhead door, that's going to remain.
All right.
So the east facade, yeah, there you are. I need a man door in the building.
Peter, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's a person door.
Yes, what?
Ooh. So I need a person door.
There you
yeah?
go.
And that whole right side of the building is in terrible structural condition. That's going to be taken apart. So I'm going to brick in where that glass block is right now. That's going to have a door installed, and that will be bricked in. And then every one of the pilasters on that facade, those are all broken also. Those all have to be removed and rebuilt. The center one has fallen off the building and it's just covered in wood right now. And currently on the left-hand side, that 8x8 overhead door, that's going to remain.
Okay.
And all the brick is going to be repointed as required also.
Okay.
It's basically going to be brought back to almost new condition.
Through restoration
Yes.
and reconstruction. Okay. Let's see, Holly has her hand raised. We're gonna go to Holly, and then we'll take questions from the commissioners, and then we'll see if there's anyone from the public who'd like to speak. And then the commissioners can speak.
Thank you,
Molly?
Mr. Chair. Thank you. Appreciate the proposed rehab plan after the discussion this past January for this historic commercial building. I had a couple of questions I put in my comments, specifically on confirmation that the Secretary of Interior standards for rehabilitation will be followed, that the brick that's to be repointed is with like mortar and not cement, which will deteriorate any of the historic bricks. Appreciate, again, the careful proposed, as well as the 3D laser scan. I'll give a nod to Linda on that one. Thank you. On the north and south, was a question I had. Is the existing glass brick wood original as shown as existing, or was this added over time? I noticed that those are the two flanking elevations that are going to be replaced with complete brick within those bays. And I just want to bring to the commission's attention, based on the 1930s NHA photo within the packet, the green siding looks like it was original, and more than likely that glass, like the other elevations. So I just wanted a clarification on the siding within those bays on the north and south. And if original, I believe that those features should be restored. Overall, I'm very supportive of this proposal. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Do you want
Thank you, Holly.
my turn, Mr. Chairman?
Hold on a second, please. Does anyone have any questions on what's been presented to the moment?
I have a question.
Val?
On the south elevation presently, within one of those green panels, was that a door, like an overhead door, or what was that was closed in? Because they have a people door in the middle of that. Is that a possibility to do something like that?
Well,
Instead of getting rid of the glass block.
right, on the south, there's no glass block.
Linda, I did finish asking my question.
Please let Val continue.
It was the side that he was talking about, which I
East,
think is here.
yep, east.
Taking the glass block out and adding a person door.
Mhm.
I'm just asking, is there a possibility to leave that and put a people door in that, like, the green overhead door? It's just a question.
The green overhead door, through you, Mr. Chairman, is remaining on the east.
They're replacing it.
Yeah, but it's remaining as a service door for the electric company. The glass blocks, well, we had intended to remove them and put the people door there by re-bricking. If we were going to re-brick that side, the people door would move to the left. That may be more problematic. You see the gray spot right there on the left in the middle? That's where they had the very large, probably a 50-foot high, if not higher, stack back in the 1930 photo, which is in your packets. And I think it's better to leave the people door where the glass blocks are than rather than break through the brick to put another people door somewhere where there is never been a people door. So if that, hopefully that answers your question, which is why it's going where the glass blocks are. So we don't have to bang through it.
Can we leave some of the glass block?
You are the authority having jurisdiction, please tell the applicant's agent what you expect.
Well, it's question time right now. So.
Okay, but
Okay.
Okay, we'd have to sort of
that's what you feel is required.
figure that out.
Anything else, Phil?
No.
Anyone else?
I have a couple of questions.
Abby?
All the green doors that look like doors, what material are they?
They're wood now.
And what is your proposed material?
Wood. Where the people doors are.
All these green,
Now, those aren't doors. That's what the interesting part of this south elevation's all about. Holly's correct. In the 1930 aerial photograph, those green doors are there. But after that point, there was no less than 2 buildings attached to the south side. In 1998, which is in your packets, that's my next question about your packets. There's a 1998 photo from when they came in to demolish all the other structures. On that south side, there was a very large electric company building actually attached to the building, which is why you see the black line up there. That's where the building was attached. Those didn't exist when it was interior. When they took that building off in 98, they had to fill those holes in very quickly. The same thing with the north elevation. That is not original, period. There was a walk through the turbine building, and when they took that turbine building off the north in 1998, they had to fill that hole in, which is why it's so irregular, because there was a lot of space in between the two that was wide open on both ends. So we'd like to brick in the south elevation, but the north elevation's not original. It was wide open for the turbine building, and we'd like to brick that in and put a utility door on the north side as well.
So the green will be replaced with brick.
On the south side, yes, except for, for the people door.
Abby?
that's what's been asked, and there's one door on that elevation, the south door. On the south elevation, there'll be one people door.
Yeah,
Okay.
people door.
And my other question was, if the roof material, did you talk about that at all?
That's been redone more recently. Holly, I think, included it in her stuff, that that roof is in good shape at the moment.
Okay, no modifications proposed.
Not under this application.
Okay, anything else, Abby?
Let me just check.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I was with Val and trying to keep that on the east elevation, trying to keep the glass block. And on the lighting, I was wondering what that looked like, because there's some interesting, lighting of that period that could be, historically correct, that I think would sort of add to this renovation.
It's, okay.
Okay,
So I'll just.
thank you.
It's not part of our application at the moment, but we'd have to run it through the chairman or the vice chairman and staff as to what the lighting fixtures look like. But they're going to meet the dark skies. We just don't know what they're going to be until we're done with the building.
Gotcha. Let's see, Mickey, does your group have anything? Actually, first, before Mickey, are there any abutters?
I don't know, they have to raise their hand if
If there's
anybody.
any abutters who wish to speak on this proposal, please raise your hand, your little virtual hand.
We're in a butter to ourselves.
No, okay, Mickey?
Yes, thanks. So this is Mickey Rowland. I'm representing the Historic Structures Advisory Group. Myself, Jason Finger, Mary Bergman, and Marcia Fader. And Holly already mentioned following the Secretary of Interior standards for the methods like pressure washing and replacing and repointing this brick and such as that. So that's good. This is sort of a question, I guess. Are they intending to use matching brick for all of the replaced brick?
Lynn, that's a question on the tip of my tongue, so can we get an answer on how you're gonna color match those? Or if you are intending to?
Well, that's an interesting question, since on this building, there's also the better S&H bricks as well as the orange bricks. But because these orange bricks were in much better shape, they didn't have toxic gas chemicals being made in the building, we can probably keep the same brick. It's the infills on the other building were done with a better brick. I would assume that we'd have to use some sort of a better brick to fill in these holes to make it stable. But I haven't gotten that far. Obviously, we can run that through you and Ray and
May I
staff.
just hop in here on your time on the floor here? I think that dependent upon what motion eventually comes out of this application, it sounds as if we will be revisiting that as the selection of brick, the color via samples of the existing and proposed as either a full board, probably a full board, as a condition of the installation. So we'll, if we approve this, we will be approving the scope of work and not the material, all the materials, any materials that have any question mark would come back before us before that work could be completed.
But we can proceed with building permits and things
Be
like
able
that.
to proceed because the scope of work is approved, it's the materials that would need to be resolved. Does anyone have any concerns with that? If we get to the point where we approve this work? Okay. Mickey, did you want to continue, please?
Yeah, just one last comment, and Val brought this up on the east elevation.
I have to scope that out.
The east elevation, they're proposing to remove a whole panel of glass block, and that seems to be original equipment, which probably should remain. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, regular board, who'd like to begin? Concerns, Ray?
Yeah, I can start. So I'm in favor of this general proposal. The only thing that's been going through my head is, you know, I'm not a stonemason. I've never done anything like that. I'm unfamiliar with it. And when I heard that the pilasters, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but like the pilasters are coming down, right?
Being rebuilt, yeah.
Being
Well,
removed and
in order to be rebuilt, what we're looking at needs to come down.
Yeah, including the corner posts.
Correct, because that's a pilaster. Also, if I understood correctly, the lintel is coming down because of all that corbelling that's leading up to the lintel, so that's coming off, right?
only where it's damaged and it's been modified and there's bricks missing.
Yeah.
And wherever it needs to be rebuilt, yes.
So I guess I'm just, you know, I'm very used to wood frame construction, way less used to bricks, but like even the glass block, I can see where the damaged glass blocks are in the picture, and trying to figure out how on earth somebody can just sort of go in and sort of surgically replace bricks and stuff like that. I
They've
mean,
been doing
but
that for
That's
months.
the proposal on the table,
Yeah,
right?
and they've actually been replacing them over time. Steve Holgate can talk about that. Kids like to throw things at them and break them, so they take the old ones out, put the
Okay,
redone
so
ones back in.
I just, you know, I wanted to make sure in my own mind that we weren't talking about like everything coming down and then just kind of getting, you know, a demo essentially.
No.
And then getting rebuilt, like if you guys are obviously know more about this than I do, but, so I think, you know, the conceptual idea for the proposal, I'm very much in favor of, including getting rid of the wood panels in favor of brick for the reasons that Linda mentioned, including getting rid of that flashing piece, which, you know, if I just don't understand how a brick mason could go in there and like surgically do that, but apparently they can, so that's good. So that's my only concern, is sort of like what we can expect to be seeing while construction is taking place. And it sounds like the building will be standing there while all this work is being done.
Yeah, the framing on this one, fortunately, if you looked at I wanted to ask everybody, if you had trouble with your view packs, this was about a 120-page submission. Was everybody able to see the 5 sections of the view pack for this, which included the scans and everything?
Yep.
Okay.
Sufficient to make the determination.
Because we had all of his engineered drawings in 2 sets. I just want to make sure.
Okay, Val.
I was gonna say, on a regular computer, it's not a problem. I could see everything. I think the only thing, I appreciate this very much compared to the other building. And I would just say, I would miss removing the whole entire glass block on the east. So if there was a way to at least keep an upper portion of it and then close in below it and put a door, that would
Okay.
be great. That's my only comment.
Thanks. Let's see, Abby?
Yeah, I had the east. I had that, on that east elevation, that would be nice to have that glass block replaced. Or just keep it, just renovate it as existing. No, I appreciate everything you're doing in saving the building. I don't quite understand the roof, the way it's photographed here. It looks like we're looking through it, but you're saying it's intact.
It's intact, and he did that, so you can see that the framing, all of the framing in this building, unlike the other one, is still intact in the whole roof system.
And what is the material on the roof? Is it like a
It's asphalt, isn't it? It's asphalt.
asphalt
asphalt.
shingle? Yeah.
And that was a much more recent application.
Go ahead, Abby?
Yeah.
Okay, Angus?
I appreciate the proposal for the rehabilitation. I would say to Holly's note about following the Secretary of Interior standard for rehabilitation is to have that included in the general notes. Number 2 in the general notes, it says meet requirements of applicable state and local codes. So somewhere in there, it'd be great to have that added to it. And in the other notes about working on the brick, it's saying match color and size, but I think that it was a good suggestion for us to be able to see samples and approve those. And I guess I had a question about where there was a passage door, if anybody knows where originally, or if the only access before was a full, like, overhead kind of door.
That's a good question, because you could enter the other 2 buildings. I remember going in those buildings when I was a kid. I think Steve Holgate may be able to tell you that better, but might even be before he was born.
The reason, and I don't need an answer now.
But there were people doors in it, and I believe one was on the east, and one may have been on the west, because the north and south for probably 67 years had a building actually attached to them. So there had to have been an access. I know there was an overhead access off of Candle, and I know there's a people door on the other side somewhere.
Thank you, Linda.
So I'd rather see those utilized than trying to fit one into the glass block area, because I imagine that the glass block has only ever been glass block. And those are my only concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So I agree with comments. I guess any approval would be conditioned upon following the Secretary of the Interior standards, best practices for mason and other restoration work. Brick match, all would be, I presume, approval would be for the scope of work, not the selection of materials. Selection of materials would be subject to a subsequent application. 2 questions I have. The first relates initially to the proposal for changes in adding the door into the glassed area and generally fenestration. What is the intended, it's not our purview, but I'm curious, what is the intended use of this one?
Storage.
And has there been any contemplation for other uses? The reason I ask is, if there hasn't been, square footage, usable space on Nantucket's a premium, and we would want to understand what, like, if that is pursued, you know, it'd be interesting to see what fenestration changes may occur as opposed to having a brick wall building with a few windows. Not suggesting it would be a good thing or not, I just curious. The other thing that's really more relevant is, what's the timeline for the project, start, finish?
My understanding was going to start as soon as we can do it in the fall, obviously.
Is that a well-informed understanding, or is that a?
It
general
was,
comment?
but I'm not sure. What are we doing?
I see the hot seat.
I believe it's gonna be bid, is
They have to go to bid.
it's going out to bid to contractors.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No, I understand, the mechanics of it, I get, and I appreciate your sharing, but I'm not looking for an exact date, I just would like to know, we, National Grid intends to do this in the next year, the next 3 years, the next 10 years.
It's not going to be 3 years, and it's not going to be 10 years. But I think the point on this is it's going to be as expeditious as possible. Granted the fact, you know, this is a regulated public utility, we have to put it out to bid, all that sort of thing. You know, it takes a little while to get mobilized, but we have no intention of holding back on it time-wise.
And we already have a construction manager company on record here.
Okay. And did you want to add?
No, Arthur summarized it. Arthur summarized it pretty well. The approvals will dictate the schedule, but the goal is to get the approvals in place, get it out to bid, and try to get it into construction as soon as possible, with trying to get this done sometime in the spring, summer next year. So.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm Rory Madden with JLL.
Thanks, Rory.
And we have a Concom thing to go through as well, so there's other things going on.
Thank you. It just seemed like information that would be helpful in various regards to have a general concept of. Okay, so I have nothing to add. There are some potential changes to what's been proposed, but that's going to revolve back to who makes what motion. And that's where I'll leave it to you guys. Noting that we would be looking to include Secretary of Standards, restoration practices, industry best practices for masonry and other historic renovation, and the brick match materials, which I can just append to a motion. I'm looking for an idea of what we want to do with the structure itself and doors and glass and so on and so forth.
Sounds like revisions.
Oh, please don't.
Would we like to see a final drawing on this?
The only thing I have concern with is that removing that glass block on that, what is it, the east or west? East. If the door could be someplace other than,
You know what I could do?
All right, he doesn't, the electric company just said they don't care if that glass block stays, that's fine. We'll just find another place for a people door. It could be integrated in the other door.
Okay, but we'd want to know where the people door is going to go.
Is it going to go on the east side?
Peter, one sec, approach the mic, please, so the folks at home who are eating popcorn can hear you.
Well, do you want to just do without the people door on the east side, and when we come back for the brick, we'll come back for where the people door is? Does that work? And the
Yeah.
people doors are where they are right now?
Well, look, yeah, I mean, I think what we could do is we could approve it without the people door, and that solves for a people door being installed someplace the HTC isn't approving. And you can bring that back as a revision when you bring back the
The brick.
materials.
So the glass stays on the east side.
So the approval would be for the scope of work sans people door and with the materials and the glass block to be retained.
And are you two
Location.
going to okay the brick?
I think we can have it back as a full board. I would like that. I would prefer. It doesn't have to be a very difficult decision if the selection is pretty close.
Mr. Chair, can you repeat that motion?
I'm not sure we're there yet, so I
Okay,
will
never mind.
though. Is that general, are we got consensus? So Ray's motion will be to approve as submitted, oh, you got a laser on you, careful.
Hold
Do you want to be in the hot seat on this one, or you okay with it?
Up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was fine with it the way it was, but
I
with the
know.
glass block back, that I'm fine too, so yes.
So the scope of work is approved with the exception of the person door.
On the east.
Person door on the east to be eliminated from the proposal. The glass block to be restored,
East and west.
the glass block to be restored. The Secretary of the Interior standards for restoration and industry standards for restorative processes to be followed
On brick buildings.
on period. The brick material selections subject to subsequent approval by
By
the
the-
commission.
Okay.
That's my motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner Fall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming down.
Yeah,
You'll have the
Okay.
other one back next week.
okay.
All right,
Looking forward to it.
yes.
I was
You
just
will.
not sure about all that green going away. 'cause
We are on
I'm just getting
to
filled
20
in, right?
Derrymore, new dormers.
Oh, you wanted me to write that?
No.
Reagan wrote that.
Hi, guys, I just wanted to remind you, this is the point in the meeting where I point out that it's a summer day, and if we're succinct and we agree with someone, and we simply say we agree with them, but not point out everything we agree with, or just to point out what we don't agree with, the meeting will go by more quickly, still be as effective as ever, and we'll have a chance to get out and enjoy a little bit of sunshine.
Lovely.
Before it rains.
Let's see, who is, Linda, you're representing?
So I assume it's the regular board?
Are you representing?
Yeah,
Okay. The regular board, correct.
okay.
Please go ahead. They're new dormers, so
New
let's not get
dormer.
too caught up in it.
Dormer. The structure, I know Holly put in some old stuff, which isn't really relevant anymore, but it had 2 dormers added to the front some time ago, probably 1989 thereabouts, and this horrible dormer in the back, which is in the middle of the back, and he's just simply, there is a picture right, you see the picture? That's probably the best example up there, right in front of you. We're just expanding the dormer that's there, east and, north and south, east and west, I believe it is on that thing. It's gonna be more than 3 feet away from the gable on the end. And originally, Holly had seen the first one, which had 3 sets of double ganged windows and too big, and we revised it, pulled it in on both sides. It's not atypical for capes to have a full dormer in the back. And we're just adding on to both sides of it where it sits. So we can't drop it any further because that's gonna look ridiculous because the middle one is staying, it's not going anywhere, it's in an existing room.
Thank you, Linda.
So that's pretty much it.
Angus, you had this one and you put it deemed it not consentable. Would you like to comment? Or did I skip that out?
No, that's right. So my concern was the overall size of the dormer and the amount of unglazed area, not that we want glazing to go from end to end on a dormer that's so large. But that was really the concern. And also just the high visibility of it. It's right at the turn in Derrymore. So it couldn't be any more visible.
But it is perpendicular,
Okay. Linda, please hold on. Comments?
sort of.
Val?
There's plenty of dormers in the area. What I would say, there was no floor plan, so I couldn't look to speak succinctly to, if it was cut back on both sides to just before the single windows that were added, I think it would be fine.
But the 2 middle ones are existing
Okay,
now.
thank you, Linda. Abby?
Oh, the two middle ones are existing?
Yeah,
The 2 gang ones?
yeah.
I usually, in a dormer, in a situation like this, in a story and a half, I like to see them closer together and in a smaller dormer, but, yeah, I'm not feeling strongly one way or the other.
Okay. Angus, you commented.
So I agree with Val that if this came in to the, to give maybe 6 or 8 inches of shingle to either side of those outside windows, to bring the cheek walls to there, and to push it back to the point that the head casing would be covered by the soffit, I would be fine with it.
Okay, thanks. Connie.
Hold on,
Yes.
who's Connie replacing?
Connie's replacing Ray.
I'm writing.
I'm sorry.
It's right in the.
The page. What Angus said. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually okay with it where it is, but the consensus is to make the modifications Angus proposed. So it looks like a motion will be Angus's as an exhibit A. And would you like to articulate that?
Yeah, so the cheek walls would come into 8 inches, bless you. The corner boards of the dormer would come in to within 8 inches of the side casing of the windows proposed. And
So
the
reduction?
face of the dormer would step back to the point that the head casing goes up into the frieze or soffit.
I'd rather hold for revisions on that because I can't, we're dealing with the existing dormer. We are not taking the existing dormer out.
He's not suggesting that.
So
He's just
how am I
saying,
supposed to
Hold
deal with the
on,
windows?
Let's eliminate crosstalk on the floor. Angus, would you mind, just for the purpose of clarification, to avoid having to revisit this whole thing at a later date, for me to get some clarification from the applicant's agent? Which is to say, can you hold your motion for a moment?
Yeah,
Holding.
Thank you. Linda, what is being proposed is that on the right and the left, instead of expanding the width as proposed, the width is only expanded to approximately 6 to 9 inches to the right of the window casing of the new window on the right and
Yep.
to the left of the window on the left, not the double,
Right.
not the set of double hungs, the new windows on the far right and the far left.
yeah.
Just to be clear on what's being proposed, are you suggesting that you would prefer to hold for revisions?
Well, I don't understand how I'm supposed to take windows that don't match the other ones and move them up or move the whole dormer up. I'm not touching the middle dormer, so I'm not moving the dormer up.
Oh, so the existing dormer is here, right?
Yeah,
So,
sort of in between the two,
okay, all is being proposed is that this wall will come into here,
right?
and this wall will come into here.
Yep,
well, he was suggesting.
he's talking
pushing
about
them
something
up
else.
into the thing.
Can we scroll to the photograph, please?
You bearing the top plate into the header?
But if the existing.
But you can't because it's.
I think it might be at the very beginning.
I think the pictures are up front before all this, maybe. Yeah,
And they're sideways.
Yeah.
Upside down.
oh, one more time.
I'm getting to see.
That's how I see the world every day.
So the
Can
showing
lower it?
one with the
Can
double
somebody
window on
lower
the
it?
back?
It needs to be lowered, there you go.
Yeah, here.
Hold on, guys.
It'll match the existing windows.
Linda, please.
So in the drawing, it shows the roof coming to the sill, or the sill coming down to the roof.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Linda,
And
please.
there's also not shingle area above the window, so it's like the windows aren't getting bigger, the dormer's getting smaller.
It's gonna match existing, that's all
Okay,
I'm
so
saying.
this is a more simple question than the debate that is going on, which is out of order. You understand, Linda, what is being, the likely motion is. Are you asking that we extend a motion for revisions as opposed to an approval?
I'm not, what I'm concerned about, I'm not taking that dormer and those windows out. So the windows that are going
Okay.
flanking, reducing it,
So I
yes.
think what,
But
hold
it
on.
needs to match the existing,
Hold on,
that's what you can
hold
say.
on, hold on.
To match existing.
Hold on,
It's bizarre.
hold on. So what we would like is a revised drawing that comports with the proposed motion, which is reduce the
width.
width and correct the drawing to reflect the existing conditions so we can actually see what it is you're proposing versus what is drawn, which is not what exists.
Right.
No surprise.
Yes, so why don't we, are you okay with a motion?
I'm
for
going to make a
revisions?
motion to hold for revisions.
So we're looking for specific information, as stated, make the drawings match the existing conditions with respect to heights of windows, top plates, so on and so forth.
Existing conditions have to be reflected,
Correct.
Yes,
Yes.
once again.
once again.
Okay, so on Angus's motion to hold for revisions and information, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And do I have alternates to break down? Because I have to put them on the form.
Connie is the active alternate.
No, Connie's on it.
Oh, yeah, she's the active alternate.
So Ray is an alternate and Joe?
Ray, Joe, and Carrie are all
I see Carrie up
potential
there.
alternates. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see, that moves us to 13 Hawk Circle. Good evening, George.
Good evening, everybody.
You're gonna give Linda a little break there?
I'm gonna give Linda a
All
little
right,
break.
give us all a break.
No worries.
All right, George, the floor is yours.
Thank you. This is an application for a secondary dwelling on 13 Hawk Circle, which is off of Low Beach out in Sconset. What we've tried to do is mimic the existing building, so all the exterior detailing and finishing will match the existing main house that's on the property already and the studio. We've tried to reduce the scale of this building down. We've dropped the sill, using a mud sill, we've dropped the first floor down as low as we can. We're trying to manage, I don't know if there's anything, here we go. If you could just scroll slowly through some of the pictures of the existing structure, they should follow right after this. I believe that needs to be zoomed out. That appears to be the site plan. We can just jump right in if you'd like. And if you could zoom in on those, please. Essentially, the existing structures on the property have natural cedar shingles. White trim is fairly straightforward and basic. We intend to match all of that detailing on the proposed structure. I guess we'll try to jump right to the plans, right?
Just bear with us, we're doing a power source optimization.
Yeah, no worries.
George, where would you like to go?
Well, I mean, if you wanted to zoom in on some of these photographs, you can just scroll through them quickly. There's no need to belabor them, but you can see that the site is bound by a fairly high privet hedge all the way around. This is the primary driveway into the site. You'll see right in front of you in the back, there's an existing studio on the property, and then the main dwelling is to the right of that. I think if you continue to scroll down, Fiona, you'll see that is the garage that was just relocated to make way for this proposed addition. If you keep scrolling, the existing studio, and then there's the primary residence right now. It was built back in the early 90s. It's perpendicular to the street, so the front entrance is actually what we're looking at. Hawk Circle is to the right of this picture, so you're actually looking at the side of the house, of the existing house.
George, I just want to interject for purposes of clarity. Can we go back to that image of the front? So that's actually looking from within the driveway
That's
space.
correct,
The
right.
roadway is the side of the home.
It's on the right-hand side of that photograph, that's correct.
Okay, go ahead, please, sorry.
No worries. And what you're looking at the bottom there is the rear of it. And then there's some site clearing that's been done relative to the garage that was just recently approved and relocated. And we'll skip right to the plans, I guess. Plans and elevations. If you could scroll, so again, it's essentially right there, essentially a story and a half. If you look at, scroll down just a little bit, please, Fiona. The front elevation, which faces Hawk Circle, is actually at the bottom there. That's essentially the west elevation. Again, what we've done is we've dropped the first floor down using a mud sill to keep the secondary dwelling as low as possible. We're mimicking the 12/8 gables that are on the main house and on the existing studio that's on the property. The second floor has bedrooms. You can see that we're utilizing dormers. We've tried to drop the dormers down so that the top plates are essentially on top where the freeze board would be to keep the dormers in. And we've pulled the sides in, try to de-emphasize those by using, cottage corners, no trim on that. And then masking that all, for lack of a better term, with a covered porch. The front door that you see there is on the right-hand side. And then there's living space with some French doors to the left of that. But the primary entrance would be facing the street again. And that would be essentially, I think that's drawn incorrectly. It's drawn as a 9-light door. A 6-light door. It's intended to be a 9-light, which matches what's on the existing studio, which is about 20 feet to the right of this. If you scroll up just a little bit, this is one of the, so the side elevation here faces, scroll up.
You're well on your way to wrapping up, George.
Okay, great. Side elevation, not visible from the driveway entrance. Again, a couple of dormers dropped in. We've dropped the top plates of the second floor down to align with the meeting rails of the double hung windows. And again, we've tried to stitch those corners on the dormers and keep them as tight as we possibly could. The rear elevation, we have some blank space. We intend to fill that in with trellis and plantings. And that is, again, the overall extension on the left-hand side, if you look at the front, is just a little under 22 feet to the ridge. The main elevation, or the main body, is just a little bit above 24 feet from the grade.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for George? Okay, Val?
I have comments.
Comments,
I'll
okay.
wait.
We have Holly's comments, and you guys had a chance to read those. Who would like to begin?
I will. Two small things. One, the dormers don't have corner boards, and I was wondering if that's purposeful, because the house does. And really, the only elevation I'm struggling with is the one considered the front, with the front door next to a bank of 4 French doors. It seems like there's French doors right immediately around the corner in that room. Could those be windows instead to make it look like the front of the house as opposed to
Can we go to that elevation?
competing?
The front?
Would be the
And really,
previous
that's
sheet
the
right
only
there.
elevation, if there was ever any sort of view, is when you pull in the driveway, it's this one. So I just, and a beam under the porch, that's it.
Okay, let's see, Ray.
Second, what Val just said, with respect to the corner boards on the dormers, the 4 French doors, but also on this elevation, there's no beam. It's one of those things I have. I want to see the columns come up to where like the top of the door head casing is, and then I want to see a beam and then the eave, not just an eave with columns supporting it. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, can I, just one, so George, I
Yes.
would have sworn that the roof pitches on the main house were greater than 8 and 12, but you're certain that they are 8 and 12?
I can get them double checked, but I believe they're 8 and 12.
Okay, as long as they match.
I can climb up there. We can make that a condition that
Okay.
the roof pitches would match it, no problem.
Val,
I
you
went
went. Abby?
first.
Yeah, I agree with all that's been said. My only comment is about the dormer on, not sure what elevation it is, but it dead ends into the gable. It sounds like it's the east.
Yeah, you won't see that.
Would be east. Yeah.
It's the rear.
Anything else?
No, but I would like to see that recessed porch, whatever that is, with the correct lintels and fascia strip, whatever. So it's structurally, so it looks appropriate.
Okay. Angus?
I might be in the minority here, but my concern is that the accessory buildings are one story, one's hip, I guess that one maybe is gone now. But then for the main house, it jumps up to 2-story. And there really isn't an example on this lot that I can tell of flush dormer story and a half structure. And so my concern is primarily this space with 2 flush dormers that would generally want to be on the side or back, and these are facing the street. And also the quad French door arrangement facing the street, again, which should be to the side or the back. So those are my concerns, and I echo Abby's concern and Holly's about the dormer on the backside. And yes, it is the back, but Stone Post Way or whatever is behind there. And, you know, if anybody decides to cut their hedges, there's a window between houses that you could look across and see that. So those are my concerns.
Okay, thanks. I'm actually okay with this. Given a condition on the privet being maintained, I'd be okay with this as is. I don't disagree with if there's visibility, despite the fact that it's at a 90-degree angle to Hawk Circle and it's a bit away. For the beam, it is standard, typical approach, and converting those 4 French doors to windows. I would suggest, if that's the approval, George, get the thing framed up. You can always come in for a revision on the French doors. Once it's up, people get a chance to do a view. Go from there. But I think you can walk out of here with an approval of it. Right?
You okay with that?
I'm okay with that, and I think, I think we can resolve the issue on the porch with creating the beam under the fascia.
Okay,
Without,
well,
as a condition.
I
that's
I
not a
know you
problem.
can do that. So make your columns a little shorter and just stick a little beam on.
Yeah, that should be easy to do.
So I'm going to make a motion for an approval with the following conditions. One, that a beam is inserted between the column capitals and the eave of the porch on the west elevation. 2 would be to change the 4 French doors also on the west elevation to 4 double hung windows. I think they're A windows, if I read that correctly. And 3, to reintroduce corner boards into the dormers. That's my motion.
And 4, you wanted to, the roof pitch to mimic the main building.
Yeah, that's just by way of confirmation that
Yeah.
the roof pitch will match the main house.
Exhibit A.
Sure.
All
Yeah.
in favor of Ray's Exhibit A motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously.
Thank you. Have a good 4th of July, everybody.
Oh,
Thanks,
thanks. You
George,
too.
you too.
Thank you.
All right, we are on to the as-built skirt, 13A Willard. Is Sam online?
Okay.
I don't see anybody raising, well, actually, here he is, excuse me.
Hawk Circle, someone doing an exhibit A.
Yeah, right.
I'm promoting him to panelist.
Dun, 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 dun. 7:30 somewhere. That's not on you, Kathy. I'm just telling you.
He's got the exhibit A.
Ray does.
What are we on?
Sam, you can unmute.
13A Willard, Sam Harris presenting.
You guys hear me all right?
We can, thank you.
All right. All right.
Sam, would you like to screen share or?
No, if you could just pull it up, that'd be great.
Sam, just so you're aware, your board, it's going to be Angus, Abby, myself, Ray, and Carrie. Val is on a bio break.
Steve, I think.
No worries.
I think I don't know, but I think Luke was involved with this. No, Sam?
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
so I
know-
can't sit
yeah.
on this.
Okay, so Joe, can you
Thank
sit
you.
on this? Thanks, Carrie.
Can you hear me okay? Yep.
Yes. Cool, thank you. Okay, Sam, please proceed.
Sure. I'm gonna wait for Fiona to start sharing the screen here. All right. So basically, when we were building this thing, Luke had it drawn out to have lattice around the skirt, and the homeowners decided that they wanted to spend some more money and went with 1x6 cedar. All of the neighbors in this kind of, I think it's a co-op unit, condo unit, they all have the same skirt around their houses. I think it's 13B and 13C, as well as the one across the street. And so the homeowners really liked the way this looked and went ahead with it. Again, there's another condenser pad that was added on there that was not originally on the HTC approved elevations. You can see that kind of on the front elevation of the house there. That again is with 1x6 cedar. And obviously there's no visibility of the condensers from the street there. That is pretty much cut and dry. Yeah, as well as I can say it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We have Holly's comments, and do we have any abutters?
I don't think so, Mr. Chair. No one's raising their hands.
Yeah, hold on a second.
I don't think so.
No, okay. Mickey?
Yeah, yes, thanks. So Fiona, if you could scroll down to get all the photographs into the screen and blow and zoom in as close as you can to the 3 photographs. So, obviously the AC units on the front of the building are not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Screening them in this fashion is a little awkward also. I'm not, if there were a better place for the AC units, I'd like to hear some options. I would even suggest that the other wall in that corner might be even better, just shifting them over to the left and facing them south. It wouldn't be quite as obvious. The post caps are a little odd to be, accentuating the whole arrangement. So that's the AC units. The other thing I just wanted to point out, which isn't really part of this application, is if you zoom in tightly to that lower right-hand photograph as best you can, it's the roof walk that I'm looking at. And when you look at the elevation of the roof walk trim boards above the ridge line, there's quite a gap there. It just looks like the roof walk was built almost a foot and a half taller off the building than it really was drawn at or should be. So those were our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Who'd like to begin? Recall Joe is on this.
What was that? You called on me?
Yes, Joe, go ahead.
Great. So just having read Holly's comments and looking at this, the thing that I miss is the rhythm of the piers with an infill versus this monoplanar skirt. And I think in the absence of exposing the brick piers and having lattice between them, if there's some way to accentuate the rhythm of the piers, I was thinking that if there was another trim board that was in the same plane as this water table board that wraps around the building, that maybe there's a way to just have that, if they ground it, to visually ground the building a little bit, and it feels like it's just floating there. I could be convinced otherwise if there were photos of the other buildings that are done exactly like this, but my gut reaction is that at least the corners of the building ought to be accentuated in some manner so that it reaches down to the ground, I guess. And then relative to the elevated HVAC equipment, I think that the cap should definitely go, and it should be not, celebrated like the porch railing. And if there's a way to run that down to the ground so that it's not just this bracketed, elevated enclosure, I think that it might go away for me. I do like the idea, Mickey's idea of rotating it as well, but I think something that would ground this might be helpful. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Right?
Thank you. I agree with what Joe just said, but I think for me, the most concerning thing on this application is what Mickey brought up about the height of the roof walk deck above the ridge. What's supposed to happen on a roof walk, any roof walk that you see in town, is that the framing sits right on the ridge. Right now, we're looking at framing, which presumably is behind the fascia board, is got to be a foot or more above the ridge. So that and the relatively steep roof pitch are making the side pieces feel very, very long and tall. That's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you. Angus?
I agree with what's been said. Every set of plans that comes out of the HDC, has a note saying whatever is built has to follow the plans. And I don't know if the builder is new to the island, but to make changes that are this egregious without coming back to the HDC is my biggest concern with this application. Whether the boarding between the piers was going to happen instead of lattice, that's the lack of articulation of those piers is a concern more than the material that was used, and that the HVAC units were put on the front of the house, which should either be on the side or the back. So I don't have a recommendation for material for there. The boarding certainly is inappropriate, but the location is definitely inappropriate. And I agree about the roof walk. Thank you.
Thanks. Let's see, Abby.
Do the drawings reflect what was built there on the roof walk?
No.
No.
Okay.
Here, let me get it.
I can't, can we?
See the ridge right there?
No, I see what you're
That
talking about.
space?
No, it looks like an
If you
elevator
look at
shaft.
Luke's drawing,
This is-
the bottom of
That's what it should
the
be.
frieze board is right in line with the ridge
And-
building. That's not the way. it
And
is.
was were the AC units on the drawing as well?
No.
No,
No, okay.
Well,
So,
let's double check. Can we go to the elevation that shows the front?
well, you should see it on the side, right?
What would be on the far side?
Oh,
This is the proposed, not the existing, right?
that must be the.
So it must be a modification. And also okay.
So,
Go ahead, Abby.
So I would say not on the front of the house, the AC units for sure. That's the most egregious thing to me, and now that the roof walk is pointed out, yeah. I would be against the AC units on the front of the house. Thanks.
Okay. So the lattice skirt, I haven't heard anyone comment any concerns. Is that, I just want to make sure we're not.
Joe
missing
had
it.
some.
Well, Joe did, but I haven't heard follow-ups. I just want to be clear what.
I'd much rather see the lattice than the boarding, but the no piers was my issue.
Right. Okay, so Piers, Joe's comments on the lattice, the roof walk being too tall. Concerned about the roof walk being too tall. I'm concerned about there not being a, can we go back to the images, please, of the front?
This was the proposed drawing.
The lack of piers is problematic and I think inappropriate. And with respect to the AC, I mean, for me, that just needs to be anchored on one side with maybe like a horn beam, European horn beam or something, a tall columnar tree that's 2.5 to 3 feet in diameter, and it'll be that way forever and a day. I don't think it's appropriate there, but I do see the setback. It can't be in the setback on the right. Sam, what's the setback on the rear of the property relative to
I'd have to look it up. I know that we're in the buffer zone back there, which is why we cantilevered that back porch so we didn't go into the flood zone. And I think that was a big key concern about putting something back there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been by the property, so I'm pretty familiar with it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's plant material to help screen and mitigate the AC.
Yeah,
unit.
that was the plan.
And then what can be done? Well, we'll have to decide what we want to do with the rest of it. Sounds like there's consensus on certain points, but I'm not super clear on it. What
Can we send it back to him to?
propose piers,
Yeah.
modifications to the roof lock and screening for the AC?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Sam, did you catch that?
I did. Would there be any chance? I mean, I could submit photos of 13B and 13C and show the skirt on those buildings too, and their lack of piers. They pretty much just have this similar skirt.
So
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
That would be helpful, but what we're gonna wanna see is whether they do or don't have an approval for that condition. So, you know, sometimes things happen without HTC approval. Sometimes things happen with an HTC approval, but they're not as constructive, but they don't get caught because there's a lot going on.
Sure.
So I think if you're gonna rely on local imagery of local conditions, we need to know through staff whether were approved as such or not.
Okay.
So I just caution you to be aware of that before you turn information in.
All right.
Okay?
Yep.
So we're looking at the skirt piers, we're looking at the roof walk deck height, and we're looking at screening of the AC unit as a revision. And additional information that you may provide. Is that your motion, Abby?
That's my motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, actually,
Aye.
Abby on your motion?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
You gotta do a voice vote. Ray?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay. Ethan? Let's see. That brings us to 12 West Sankaty. This is a revision and a new dormer? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Nothing else to add?
Well, there's an additional, no. Basically, it had a
pretty
previous
simple.
approval to pick the house up, move it to the center of the lot and put a full foundation under it. And the house sold, new people bought it. They're gonna keep the house in place as is. And they want to add it on the right side of your photo, they want to add an addition to enlarge the house there and then stick a shed dormer on the back. And you can see my existing and proposed drawings. And remove the, that's just exterior oil tank and all that stuff and put it inside. So if you look at the drawing to the bottom, you can adding that addition to the right.
Is that a burled wood roof?
My paper drawings look better than this stuff.
All right.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, it's asphalt roof going to wood.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay, thank you. So we did we're just gonna go to questions.
Oh, real quick, the windows in the front porch are 1/1 storm windows with, the grills are just taped in with masking, duct tape. So we're putting in real windows.
Oh, that's not what you're proposing to do?
That's on the bottom. You can see that I circled it. That's part of it.
Okay, questions for Ethan? Ray, you wanna start on this? You had it.
I was actually fine with it.
Okay. Does anyone have any concerns with this?
No.
Does anyone have a motion for this?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Let's see, regular board, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. We're on to the Little Isle Lane. Hoop
Thanks.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
the pizza's here.
Oh, we're gonna take a break
What?
until 5:50.
Oh,
The pizza
poor Ryan's been sitting here.
Oh,
5:50. Pardon me? Regular board. kindly
And
move it along.
did that terrible.
Which,
Oh, I forgot to pull up my water.
is that us?
That was you.
Did we? Lisa? Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I didn't sign it. I just forgot. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good evening. All right, we are on to Four Little Isle Hoop Tent. Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan Conway. I have a couple of things. I don't know if can I give you these?
Yeah, are they in the packet or no? They're not. Okay, so yeah, why don't we bring up the site plan and you can bring those up and we'll take a quick look at them. Pass them down. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Is that the new secondary ice skating rink out on Old South and Nancy Ave? It's a huge building.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan, why don't you go ahead, I mean, like 5,000 feet up, hoop tent, industrial area, just.
Yep, I'll speed it up. So yeah, I was fortunate enough to put myself in a position to buy a piece of commercial land. Already got a special permit. There was no appeal during the 20 or 21 day appeal period. Just shy of 10,000 square feet, 9,725. I think this hoop tent, simple hoop tent is 1,008 square feet, 28 by 36. I've already purchased it, have it on island. You can't see this hoop tent from Old South Road at all. There's probably 400 feet from Old South Road with a bunch of vegetation and pine trees and just thick stuff. In that packet, I have a picture from Miller's Lane, on the corner of Miller's Lane in Little Isle, that you can't see my lot at all, due to a house in the corner and some other vegetation. I'm gonna go above and beyond and plant vegetation, Leland cypress trees, all around my lot. So really, it's not visible at all from any main roads. I think it would only be visible from Little Isle, which ends up, the dirt part is a dead end. Yeah, 28 by 36. I think the peak is 17 feet, and then it flares down to about 10 feet. Just a simple hoop house. And it's gray like shingles.
Okay, that sounds good. Appreciate the information. Ray, you had this one. Do you want to comment?
Yeah, I just was unable to, or couldn't figure out where this was, really. Well, ironically, there were other hoop tents that look just like this, I guess. Somebody else applied for some coincidentally, that just got approved on consent, I think.
Really? Yeah, well, this company
think
that I
so.
bought it from in Ohio has done a lot of business on Nantucket. So
Way back
maybe a half a dozen, he's dealt with a half a dozen people on this island, so.
All right. So, go ahead.
Oh, and I was just gonna say, this photo is not yours, of course, that's somebody else.
That is not mine, nope. The first few photos in that packet is just showing
That somebody
the
else has.
monstrosity that's been out there visible to
Okay.
Old South, so.
Okay. Thoughts? Good.
I'm fine.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Comments? Any concerns?
I think given this is turned into a big landscaping area, there's all kinds of things there. And it's in the back of the lot. It's C-Tech or CN.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine, and he's gonna plant it out. He's a landscaper, he can do that.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Angus?
I would like to see something other than a wall of Leland cypress, though, if there's some variation that could happen in that.
Okay. Maybe some naturalized plant material, Ryan?
Sure.
Something.
Mix
We're
it
gonna
in.
have, well, I'm gonna have lawn, probably about 5-6 feet of lawn on the other side of the Lelands. Right, so we'll be all boxed in by Lelands, guessing I'll probably top them off right around the 9, 10
Yeah.
foot. mark, right, manageable to cut.
Yeah, and once those things get topped off, you just can keep them sheared back and they're gonna
Yep.
keep cutting the top and they're gonna keep growing.
I hate them, but at least it's not a fence.
Well, a lot of people don't know you can cut the tops and.
Yeah, when they don't take care of them, they get out of control, right?
Yeah.
You get 20 feet wide,
Yeah.
35 feet tall, and it's gonna be pretty much a privet hedge, but it's year-round screening, right? So you won't be able to see, privet hedge, you're gonna see through it. It's an evergreen, so you won't see through it.
All right, okay, Angus spoke, Ray, everyone spoke, let's get a motion, please.
I just have one question.
Yeah.
What color is it?
It's gray.
Okay.
Yep.
Motion to approve is submitted with the caveat that they'll be screened.
Some vegetative screening.
Right.
And you'll write that in under conditions of the
Yep.
approval.
Yep.
I'll second that just to be specific about some variation besides the Leland.
Some variation on the vegetative screening. You good with that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so on Vale's motion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Thanks for coming in,
Thank you,
Ryan. We
Chair. Thank you,
appreciate it.
Board.
Thank you. Okay, we are now on to 7 Primrose. Chip?
It's Lucas, and I'm promoting him right now,
Screening.
to panelist.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hi there, this is Lucas on behalf of the applicant, subbing in for Chip. I'd love to share screen if possible.
Sure, go ahead.
Alrighty, fairly straightforward. This is an application for a front gate as well as the perimeter deer fence. The front gate is as drawn, all natural to weather cedar construction. I won't describe it. We also have some approach photos showing the driveway. The gate itself is set back 35 feet from the property line, which is another 4 or 5 feet from the road. Then the perimeter fence, we are going to be, we're proposing 8 foot high with black metal mesh, and then a 4x4 posts that we will stain gray so they don't stick out as it weatherizes. That's it.
Thank you. Who'd like to begin? Regular board.
So I have this for consent.
Ray.
And my issue is really having to do with the formality of the lots. I'm hoping that they can be simplified. That was my real issue.
Okay. Let's see, Val.
While I don't disagree with Ray, I think because it's so far back, it's like 35 feet from the edge of the road where they're gonna install them. I don't know that the impact will be generally, you guys came in for a different gate, I
Yeah.
think, for this property, right? It had stone posts and,
That's correct. Yeah, I didn't represent that one, so I'm not sure exactly, but yes, it was a little bit, this is the revision.
it was a lot, so I appreciate this. I would just say I hope that the deer fencing, I see it's gonna be 3 feet off the property line, that there'll be some vegetation screening it on the exterior of it.
Well, I would like to suggest that you can stipulate what you feel is appropriate, not hope.
Okay. I'd like to see some vegetation on the outside of it,
Nice.
so we don't see it, or
And
the
are you-
neighbors don't see it.
And are you comfortable with it being 3 feet in, or do you think it should be more along the lines of what we typically approve, or?
It's hard to say, because if you look at what's there, it's scrub, so
Yeah.
it's hard to tell.
If I may, through the board,
Briefly, Lucas.
briefly, yeah, we obviously, we will certainly not clear cut. We will be weaving this through the existing vegetation. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Abby?
I guess the 8 feet for the post is the new normal, is that for deer fencing? It just seems
think
really
we-
high.
I think we can determine what it's gonna be.
Well,
That's our role.
we did pass, yeah.
Unless you
Well,
want to be
I'd
okay
prefer
with-
to see 7 feet, and I would like to see 5 feet off the property line woven into the natural landscape. And the gate is natural to weather,
That's correct.
or is that? Okay, and the posts around the gate are also natural to weather,
That's correct.
or they stay gray? Okay, so those are my comments, thank you.
Okay, Angus?
I agree with Ray about the simplicity of this. Typically, we have a lower gate with wires that go across to minimize the impact of it. And 35 feet sounds like a long distance, but that's basically one car parked in front of another. So I would want it to go back twice as far if this is the design that we would go with. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm good with this as a natural to weather, 5 feet further back, the fence 5 feet from, a minimum of 5 feet from the property line, with naturalized vegetative screening. It sounds like we actually have consensus around that general approach. So who would like to make a motion to move the gate 5 feet further back, to have the fence a minimum of 5 feet from the property line and screened by naturalized vegetation?
I will.
On Val's motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries.
I'll oppose, because I'm worried about these 8 feet going everywhere.
Oh, you know what? I didn't address that, and I didn't mean to omit
That's
that.
5 feet.
Deer can jump high.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, I mean.
That one snuck by us, but we're not gonna let that happen again. Okay, so, for the record, Abby opposed.
Is that the gate, or is that those
Now-
are the posts going around the
No, the
property?
gate is only,
5 feet.
Yeah, the gate's only 5 feet. Moving on to 34B Walsh addition.
Thank you.
Linda.
Okay, I've got,
Thanks.
James Krapp is going to be in after I give you the lowdown on what's happening here. Some time ago, we got approval for a very substantial rear addition on 34B Wall Street. And I don't know if some of you were on the board at that point. It's accessible by a, keeping you up?
Carrie, I'm gonna activate you on this if you don't have a conflict.
All right, so who is it on this one?
on
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, so it's the regular board and Carrie.
Who's she replacing?
me,
Okay,
because I'm writing this.
okay, so Steve,
Yeah.
Ray.
Right, and then with three presenters, we'd like to keep time.
No, he's the owner, he's here for support.
Okay, no, just, if there's gonna be three presenters, we wanna keep it.
We had a very large addition. This is the strange little situation where it's an easement for access to these three properties off of Wall Street. And if you recall, there is a map in there showing the easement across the lots that are actually in front of us on Wall Street. So the easement goes around behind them, but on their lots. So it is not, we've had this discussion the last time I came in, it is not visible from Wall Street. And you can't use the easement because it actually goes across people's yards to get to there. It's a strange situation. Would not be repeated today for a subdivision. The original addition was 1,642 square feet off the rear of the existing structure. It has been reduced to 416 total square feet, 185 first floor, 231 second floor, but on the north side of the building, over an existing footprint, which you can see up on the right. There's an attached shed, which is being encompassed by the new addition. I gave you a bunch of pictures, if you were able to see them in your packet, of the visibility or lack thereof from Wall Street itself in between structures. And I will leave it up to, yeah. See, we scan them right side up. I don't know how they get turned like that, because I scan them right side up.
Yeah, just reorient them in your PDF. before
I
you-
do, and it's just weird, because I can't turn them.
Right.
Now, if you stay there for a second, that's the easement entrance from Wall Street. That's the first house that was approved maybe 10 years ago, with that roof walk on it. And if you keep going down a little bit, That is looking down the easement towards the house, which is on the left. The two on the right are the houses that front, actually, 36 and 38.
I think the site plan kind of helped us with that.
Okay, and that's the front of the house that's getting changed on the right side. The roof walk is up there above it, and that's getting flipped, so it's running north and south instead of east and west. And if you want to just quickly go through the
I
photographs,
think we're gonna do a perfect close, thank you.
there it is. That's the rear that was going to have the 1,600 feet. That's the west side of the structure, looking at the rear of the front structure in front of us. That's looking back down south or southwest. So it gives you some context. It's almost impossible to see it from Wall Street because you got to look through buildings and you can't really see it at all, because it's behind the other structures. James Krapp is up there to explain the elevations to you.
James, why don't you go ahead and jump in, both feet.
Would you prefer I share or you guys keep driving?
Yes, please. Please share.
Will do. So I'm just going straight to the architectural drawings. As Linda said, this was a dramatic reduction from the previous. The bulk of the physical addition is taking over that shed off the front. 185 square feet for a mudroom and an office space. That translates up to the second floor with some other changes. The biggest change is changing the ridge line this direction. I'll show you in the elevations. So you can see on the lower left was the previously approved. It was substantial. The major change here is adding this gable forward over top of that area. You can see this was that front entry that Linda just pointed out. So this is the elevation that is fronting one row back from Walsh. So if anything, you get a peek from, this is the front per se. We're also making some minor changes in order to accommodate this new gable. We're removing part of this dormer, adding a dormer to mimic on the other side, going down the other direction. So this is looking down the private way. So this is in the photos where you saw the Jeep, essentially. So this is the addition over the shed portion and the dormer running, which is now running northwest. North-south. You can see this existing elevation remains plus or minus the same. As you continue around, this is the back. The only changes to the back is you see the ridge, the extension of the existing brick chimney stays in place. No change to the rest of the porch. This dormer is being connected together to add some space on the second floor. This can't be seen at all. And then the western elevation is essentially an extension of the front. So that's the bulk of the changes. So just for a frame of reference, it's all like in kind, white trim. All the existing windows are being replaced in kind. And that's it. It's
Thank you, James.
Sure.
Let's see, Kathy, are there any butters? Is there anyone who would like to speak on this application other than perhaps Mickey?
I don't see anybody raising their hand.
No queue. Okay, Mickey?
Thanks. So, visibility is probably questionable, but we still have some suggestions just to make the presentation a little bit more palatable. Looking at that elevation right there, the front porch, let's start with the door. It's a pretty informal door. I believe that's the front door, so that would make more sense to have that as a more formal door with more elaborate trim wrapped around it, like a front door might be. The roof is quite high above it. I get he's trying to match that shed to the right, but still, as Ray will probably point out, it needs a beam under the porch roof, and it should come down a little bit lower to make it feel in scale, normal to the house. Sure. Over on the west side, I believe, James, could you move over to the west? Again, this visibility is sort of questionable. Those two upper windows,
yep.
I believe those are new. Those two little tiny 6 light windows, those would look better if they were normal sized 6/6s. And that's it. Thank you.
Not visible.
James? I don't think it's addressed.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No, I'm gonna hold my comment. Thank you, Mickey. Why don't you begin, please?
All right.
I feel like this is an exercise in futility because the resolution on these drawings that I'm trying to transcribe in my mind is so ridiculously poor. I don't need, I can barely tell whether they're 6 over 6 windows. So I'm going to inherit Mickey's comments with an addition. Thank you, Mickey, for the beam comment. I also noticed that I think that the roof walk, which I believe is new, correct?
No, we have an existing roof walk. We're changing it from east to west
Yeah,
and north to
okay,
south.
well, you know, again, like, I can't read these drawings, so thank you. But it's a 2-bay roof walk, which I never happens. I'd like to see it be 3. Thank you.
Okay.
Ray, just for, oh, sorry. You're just saying you want it subdivided by 3? Is that what I'm hearing?
Pardon me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Val.
Sorry. Thank you.
Val's not on it. Oh, that's right. Carrie.
I agree with Ray and I agree with Mickey. I think the visibility factor is helping me because I think that new gable coming at us, that just seems quite tall with the roof walk up there looking quite high. But I think the visibility factor helps. Otherwise, the dormer on the front here with these short 3 over 3 windows, I would think they would be 6 over 6 windows. They just seem like they're funny that the dormer is so tall, but the windows are so short. But again, I think the visibility is makes this okay. But I would take in consideration the things that Mickey and Ray said as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Abby?
Yeah, I agree what's been said, especially the roof walk on top of that very prominent dorm gable looks pretty, I don't know, just looks like a top hat. I think the north and south dormers just look chaotic. They don't seem to relate to the rest of the building now. And I'd like to see some sort of balance with the windows and the door. So it's a little chaotic for me. Thank you.
Thanks. Let's see, Angus?
I agree with what's been said. I'm understanding that I guess this is a little question, but is the south the entry to this? So that the north is really the back of the house? Just trying to understand that.
Is the front.
Okay.
Yeah, that
And
came
that
up the
one, there
last time.
is a more formal front door and side lights and all that.
Yeah, the front door basically faces south, but is not the used entrance, just to elaborate. So, but this
Okay.
is what's front facing. It is slightly awkward, to be honest. But if you look at the south elevation, it is the more formal of the entries, has side lights, etc. So
So with that
You
being the
can-
front, my concern
you can see that.
is the dormer that's above the front door,
You're talking about the rear, south?
the south.
Both south exterior elevations. Go ahead, Angus.
Just having some regularity, and maybe the dormer is too far out and has too high of a face because it's reading almost like a second story. If you look adjacent to it, that gable to the left, it's got as much wall area as that other one. So I think that needs to get smaller. The small windows need to get bigger and the bigger windows need to get smaller. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that leaves me.
It's not visible.
I agree with the comments that have been made and as Angus edited and summarized. So I think with that, we'd be looking for revisions.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
You got a voice vote.
Oh, right, Carrie's. Ray, on your motion?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
And I'm an aye.
Okay, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Give you that. Thank you. That moves us on to
Tucker Knock.
Tucker Knock. Field station rooftop solar.
Mr. Chair,
Karen?
Karen is going to be late. She said around 6:45.
Oh,
I feel like we could do it, though.
well,
If she's coming, though.
She's
We'll
coming,
give her-
yeah.
we'll give her a little bit, and if we come back to it, if we get out of here before then, we're gonna get out of here before then, we'll. pick it up.
6:45. That would be.
Come on, guys, let's pick it up.
Okay.
Everybody had your pizza, no more sleeping on the job. All right, we're on 41 Cliff, new garage. Matt?
Yeah.
Good evening, Matt.
Good evening.
Matt, I promoted you to panelist. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, no.
Okay, Mr. Chair, with your permission, get started. So this is an application for a garage with a studio apartment above it. It's 41A Cliff Road. So we showed all of the adjacent parcels because it's kind of a unique situation where the highlighted driveway is an easement that runs through all three of these properties. So they all use it, and it is an easement. It's a deeded easement. The parcel in question is 41A, and that's highlighted on the left side. So it does run front to back. 37 Cliff is adjacent to it, and that's a project that you recently approved with a minor modification, demolishing an existing garage. There are two, or a cluster of, it's actually like a handful of trees. I think it's about 6 trees that are on Cliff Road, that one of them is designated as it's tagged as a town tree, but we did reach out to DPW, and their position is that all of those are town trees. And so there is a cluster of trees that actually sit directly in front of this structure. So obviously, the site plan is fairly self-explanatory. We did show all the parking, although that would be technically part of a second application for landscape. But we tried to keep the structure fairly simple. The height of it is, I think, just about 25 feet. Window style, exterior trim, and roof pitch were intended to emulate the existing structure, which is 41A, which is a historic structure. So with that, I'll just run through the elevations. Floor plan's pretty self-explanatory. Again, 4 elevations. Tried to keep it fairly simple, and I think that perspectives kind of help see what this structure would look like. So without taking up too much of your time, I'll leave it to you and look forward to comments from the board, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Who'd like to begin?
I have a question.
Val.
Hey, Matt, is it going where the shed is now?
It's actually slightly in front of it.
Oh, okay. I just don't see the shed on the site plan, that's why I was confused.
Yeah.
Okay, Val, any other questions?
No, that was my only question.
No one, are there any abutters who wish to speak? Please raise your hand. Mickey?
Yeah, thank you. So, looking at the site plan, it's, and the elevation, it's a pretty tall structure being this close to the road for an accessory building. And when you look at it next to the building, which you don't see, I don't think in the application, the building next to it, even though it's not, it looks like it belongs to the building next to it, even though it doesn't. It has a taller eave. It just seems out of scale with the next to that building and for an accessory structure this close to the road. So I would suggest trying to get it quite a bit lower. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Who'd like to begin?
Can I say something?
Abby?
I agree with, I agree with Mickey that I think the proposed garage is a little out of scale. I mean, compared to the old little shed. Yeah, bring down the height, because it's competing with the main building. Thank you.
Thanks. Angus?
Yeah, I have the same concern, especially since this the site is raised off of Cliff Road. It just sort of accentuates the issue. Thank you.
Thanks. Al?
Really, what faces the road, I think, is, it's a building. The garage doors face away from the road. I think just maybe, Matt, just have the building next to it, even though it doesn't belong to that, shown so you can see the difference in scale. It's not that tall, it's 25 feet tall. Yeah.
Ray?
I haven't seen the elevations yet.
Oh, here.
Or Matt, you could show them to us.
Yep, there they are.
I agree with the scale issue, its size, and its proximity to Cliff Road. Thanks.
I'm with the scale and proximity group. So, Matt, it looks like we're gonna be asking you to please make some revisions.
Sure.
So
we're gonna
moved
Focus on the height.
for revisions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously.
This is next to the building you just did a pergola or something off the side, right?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. So we do have that
Yeah.
building modeled, so we could show it. in
Cool.
proximity.
18 Gardner, new structure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Road. Oh, you mean out of town?
You need a little method, no, we actually don't want you sharing the screen.
No.
I'm gonna reconsider that. Don't worry about that. When you're ready,
Who's my board?
regular board.
Okay.
We're all pretty regular, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to those drawings below the grade. He keeps thinking that he has to show the foundation, and he doesn't because it's level and you don't see the foundation. So what it is a cottage. It's not really squared up there, guys.
Is this an artistic version of the elevation? No, I know, they just take a while to.
There you go. Cottage. Can't see it from the road. Forget everything below the door. I don't know what's going through his head, but there you go.
Who did the drawings?
Don't ask.
Who did the drawings?
I'm working it through. I'm working him through it.
Okay.
So ignore everything. It's flat lot. It's only the house. Everything, there's a full foundation, but there's nothing else happening there. If you want to go to the other elevations. The main house is on the pictures on there. This is a much better structure. It's just a tiny little shed, got a little cottage.
Okay.
You keep going, you can see the main house, so we don't really want to replicate the main house? Okay, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, and you can't see the cottage because it's interior of the lot.
Okay, thank you.
Same
You
colors
got
and
this
windows
one.
all match.
Do you wanna just comment as, even though you're not sitting on?
I just had trouble with the drawings. I couldn't,
Yeah, the weird thing below it.
yeah, thank you.
Understandable for sure.
Connie, who are you replacing on this?
She's
Oh,
not,
okay,
she was
all
just
right.
get her feedback.
Okay.
So now that we have an understanding of what we are looking at, are there any concerns?
No, I've worked on the big house. You can't see this from anywhere.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve is submitted.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
117 Orange Street is hold till 7:15. Just be prepared, we're gonna review when we take up that application, whether we're gonna take up that application.
7:15 the time?
No.
7:15, the date.
The date.
Oh, okay.
A couple meetings out. Let's see, 4 Honeysuckle Road. These were, I was having problems accessing the Luddite that I am.
I wish I'd known. I would have sent you the PDFs.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you to do that.
Fine.
It was, I figured we'd go through these real quick. Is Dinah here?
She is online.
Hello, hello, Mr. Chair.
Hey, how are you?
Are you
Good,
gonna
thank
speak?
you.
Hey,
Dinah,
I anticipate these are gonna be extremely quick, so if you could just are you gonna share screen?
No, basically the 4 honeysuckle garage cabana and the 2 honeysuckle garage, we're just changing the trim to match the house. It went from white painted to natural to weather cedar.
Okay, so it's a trim change, natural to weather, any concerns for either 4 honeysuckle or 2 honeysuckle?
No,
I haven't seen them.
well, it's just a trim color.
It's going to
The
natural
trim
to weather,
from white to,
to match
wood.
the house.
oh,
It's gonna match the house.
Okay.
I mean, it's okay if you wanna see a picture.
Yeah,
Oh, it's the
I'm just- I can't
Are you making the motion?
make it come up.
you make the
right there,
motion.
Val.
Val's having a problem making the internet machine.
Angus is making the motion.
Val, we got 1 second. I don't wanna get out of here before 6:45.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
They're gonna start giving us more work to do, guys, if we get too efficient, just be careful. Okay, Angus, you're gonna make a motion for 4 honeysuckle and 2 honeysuckle?
Move to approve as submitted.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried unanimously. We're gonna go to 6 Pond Shed. And actually, for some reason, I think I did see this one. I guess I just didn't get to the point of emailing for consent.
Yeah, it's super easy.
Good evening, Brooke. Nope, it's not plastic.
It's a woodshed.
It's a wood shed for wood. Did anyone have any concerns with this?
No.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve is submitted.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We're on to 85
Thanks.
Somerset Road. Thanks.
Oh, this is me.
Valerie.
Val is doing this in a porch roof, and again, no shade on Val that these weren't on consent. Val, what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, is just throw up the site plan, and then we'll look at the elevations quickly and see if there's anyone who has any concerns.
Okay.
These were not determined to be non-consentable. They just
Okay.
weren't determined. So I don't wanna have you.
So you don't want me to say anything?
I feel like you don't have to launch into a full-on presentation perhaps, but we'll know soon enough.
Yeah. It's a
Right.
small little cabana, 184 square feet, 13 feet high. On a lot that is fully vegetated with an existing house on it.
Here we are.
It's one drive, I'm telling you.
There we go.
That's nice.
If you see where it says future pool, it's down below that.
Yep.
And
Okay, and can we go to the
If you can
elevations,
yeah.
please? Okay, any concerns?
No.
Motion?
Motion to approve as submitted.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. We are now on to 14 Nonatum.
this is, quite simply, there's an existing cabana and they want to add a porch roof.
We could just go to the elevation, please.
It's in back of the main house. Can't see any of it unless you're in the yard.
If we knew that we had a certain amount of time per application, it could almost be like a meditative practice. All right, everybody, breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth.
Slowly.
Do a little human
Nothing
garage
showing
work
yet.
here.
Oh, sorry, no.
There it is. Existing building, out of porch roof.
14 Nonantum, off the beaten path, as they say, Val.
Yes.
Are there any concerns?
We can't see it, right?
Correct.
No, if Fiona, sorry, can you just scroll back to the site plan?
We'll take your word for it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's there. It's, the main house is in front of it.
Yeah,
South is the road.
okay, thank you. Motion?
Motion to approve as submitted.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
All right, and now we are on to 13 North Star.
Yes, I'm trying to unmute Stephen. Stephen, I'm trying to unmute you.
Who?
Stephen?
What are we on?
We're on number 7, 13 North Star.
Oh, yeah, he
As
is.
we rapidly approach the 6:45
Don't
mark.
jinx it.
So I'm asking him to unmute and he's not unmuting, but he's there. Maybe he stepped away from the computer.
Stephen? You gotta mute.
Mr. Can we go to the site plan? Oh, I see it's in there.
Yeah.
I'd like to commend Fiona for juggling slow file activity with paper shuffling.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah, well done.
High five.
Stand up, take a bow, come on.
No
Okay.
time.
Can we go to the elevations, please, while we wait?
Hello,
Oh, there he is. Yes.
I'm here.
Okay, here we go.
I can't see you, but hang on one sec. Doesn't really matter. There we go.
Can you, Stephen, can you speak to visibility of the rear dormer?
Zero. If we scan down, I provided you a map where photographs were taken from in 3 or 4 different locations.
Okay.
And there's a map where the photos are noted on the GIS, and there are photographs taken from those 4 locations. The east side, the rear are not visible from a public way. Neither is the west due to high bushes on the left-hand side where the stone wall is. The addition on the front is visible from the end of North Star. So you'll see the left-hand addition where the window and the fence is located. We're adding a dormer to match the dormer on the right-hand side on the east to balance out that elevation to put a bathroom on the 2nd floor. Other than that, the visibility, like I said, on the east side and on the north side is 0 due to other buildings, houses that block the view, trees, etc.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, is there anyone here to speak on 13 North Star Lane?
I don't see anybody.
Other than Mickey, perhaps? Mickey?
He's not there.
He's
He's
not
not,
there. No.
he's not here. Okay,
I
regular board, Abby?
I don't think anybody's going to have any problem with this.
Yeah, I did, I'm familiar with the area, I know concerns. Anyone
I
else?
worked on this house many times for the former owner. It's at the end of a dead end.
No. So
Yeah.
is that convertible to a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve as submitted.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And I want to apologize to the group, I will be doing better to get these reviewed in
Oh, you
advance.
gotta say
You had something going on.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Stephen.
Thank you.
Take care.
Oh, hold until 7:08.
Let's see. 28 India Street, color change. This is the one that they're talking about a grape colored trim?
Like a bright blue? No,
Oh, no,
this is
that's
the
right,
white.
bright blue.
Just real quickly, Holly's notation was not bone white.
Okay, so I don't know anything about the application, but what I was told is the request was for an Essex green foundation. And white side lights? Does that sound right? Essex green foundation.
Right here.
White.
Okay.
Oh, I see. So the friendship stair is going to white, it looks like?
Yeah,
What is it now?
light green.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I should know.
It's going back to what it was historically. There's a picture at the end.
Right.
Oh, scroll.
Can we go to the picture at the end?
Yeah, if there's a photo,
Oh.
that would be super helpful. Thank you.
Oh, you didn't have anything underneath.
So this is,
See-through.
Oh, yeah, okay.
white
It's
side
written out here, change brick foundation color to Essex green, front facade to white to honor the original colors from 1895.
and Holly's saying that the white is a bone white.
Muted.
Yeah.
Well, that it should be that?
No, it should not be bone white. I think the picture represents, it looks like it's too bright, but maybe that
I
was it.
can't read that photograph.
So actually, just to, the historic, I mean, I really don't mind if it's white, but the historic photo shows a bone white with white accents.
Oh.
So the capitals are a lighter white, the rails are a lighter white, the fascia of the house and all the trim on the house is a brighter, clear, pure white. This portion of that faux rail is white.
And that's not there anymore.
And then the banding of the rest of the pediment is got horizontal white accents. I'm not suggesting that, but if you look at the image, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the house now has white.
But you're proposing white.
So I think the
Yeah, white.
intention, I'm reading the intentions, because I don't have anything to do with this project, is to restore it back to what it was.
Okay.
So if there is that contrast, and, if there's that contrast, I'm sure they don't mind doing that.
Okay. So I think, let's see, first of all, Holly commented, Nikki, do you guys have anything?
He's not
He's
here.
still not here. I'm gonna activate Joe. Joe, are you clear on this one?
Yeah, I'm clear.
Okay, great. And who'd like to comment first?
I can go.
Abby?
I think it's a fine proposal, Essex green on the foundation, a white to reflect what it was originally, historically, for the, whatever it's called.
She's just talking about the porch, not, the facade is already white. It's just green, and then the stairs.
The stairs and the, whatever covers underneath the stair, what do you call that? That's going to be white.
Oh, the sort of lattice work that's under the stair?
The-
The vertical boards there?
Here
The skirt.
is,
The skirt.
the skirt underneath the front door is
Right.
going to be white.
White, yeah.
And the
Yes.
foundation Essex green.
Correct.
And I'm okay with that.
Angus?
Yeah, but, just not a bright white, like a bone is suggested. And I'm fine with the green foundation to go back to what was originally there.
Okay, let's see, Val?
Just to point out, if you look at, you can pull it up on your thing, they're not asking to change the clapboard to white. They're asking just to
Right.
change that step area.
The step area.
Okay, I'm fine with this.
Okay, Joe?
Yeah, I have no concerns. Thank you.
Okay, I have no concerns. I would suggest, given there is a little bit of alternative potential in the historic image, that I would suggest, because I'm fine with it, and the white will be to match the house trim. or it will be the contrasting white theme shown in the historic image at the applicant's option. Okay.
Or do you want,
No problem with either.
a color?
Well, if the white matches the house trim,
Okay, gotcha.
and then the option is to replicate the historic image if it's different, again, at the applicant's option. Are you comfortable with making that motion?
Okay.
It's either gonna look like it does in the picture historically, or it's gonna match the
I already
trim of the
signed it,
house.
so.
Okay.
I'll
Okay,
write
yeah,
it.
that's my motion.
Let's see, on your motion, Val?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
And I'll write it in there.
Okay.
And I'm an aye.
The next one, Chris just texted me, he cannot be here, so can we hold that?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they're not gonna be here. Let's go back to Karen on Tuckernuck, and, then we'll proceed to 57 Somerset and 37 Milton. Hold. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I was waiting for you. So this is a one-room field station that's used by visiting scientists and naturalists when they're studying wildlife on Tuckernuck. It's not a home, it's basically a shack, and it's got an off-grid system which would be charging the batteries so that they could have water and fridge, lights, and some outlets. The building is not visible from any private or public path or road or the water. It's the shrubbery around it. And the driveway that is accessed by a road that's actually owned by the Tuckernuck Land Trust, not a public way, but the building with the solar panels can't be seen from anywhere.
Okay, great. Questions? Comments?
I have some, can I go?
Abby?
So I happen to know a lot of people over on Tuckernuck. My family's from there originally, historically. A lot of, so it's very open land out there. And many of the solar arrays are ground arrays. And you have a gray roof here. So that's going to stand out. And the other thing is, on Tuckernuck, there's a Tuckernuck Association, and I suggest that when we have things from Tuckernuck, that we contact them to get a better feel for what's going on over there, because it's pretty hard for us to imagine what it's like over there, in that it's very, very open land, everything's visible, everything's a public traveled way. People are walking all over the place, so everything is pretty visible. So it's kind of hard to say you can't see it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Abby. It is regular board. Anyone else?
I have a question.
Angus?
Is it possible to sort of follow the form that Abby's discussing of a ground array? Is that an option?
No, because this is it's a nonprofit, the Tuckernuck Land Trust, and they're trying to do it as economically as possible. Ground arrays add a lot of price to it with the structure and the ditches. But I can say that if you scroll down on this particular building, and we were over there, no, I guess you got to scroll up. There is no way you can see this from anywhere, from driveways, from private paths, all the way to the top. I think I have the pictures. like that is, right, the building is back behind all that, and if you can't see, you just can't see it. It's small too, it's not a house, it's a very low roof plane. So ground array is not on the table for them.
So just to clarify, this middle picture here, is that middle arrow there and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
structure's like there?
Yeah, it's back behind there. The arrows show, looking in from that path.
Yeah,
It's like 200 feet back from that.
okay, I don't have an issue.
You're done?
I am.
Let's see, right?
I'm good.
Okay. I think this needs a 4th of July viewing with a, like a Cisco, goodie bag. Maybe, I don't know, something from the Hive thrown in. But failing that, I'm compelled, by the imagery to be on board.
I just have a question.
Val?
Karen, it looks like the panels are different sizes.
Yeah.
Some of them are,
You can scroll down to the, well, they're, some are portrait and some are landscape, but they're all the same size.
well, they just don't look at,
That's a skylight in the middle.
no, I know, I see that on the photo. I was just,
So an approval subject to regularized sized panels?
no, if you can't see it, I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, then let's move on, because it's 6:50.
I'm not holding things up.
Okay.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'd be a nay.
For the record, Abby is a nay. 57 Somerset, new dwelling. Is it pretty with us?
No, he is not.
Who?
A pre,
I've got a Prey design.
a pray.
So, there wasn't a butter that chimed in last minute, and so that's why I didn't put it on consent. Ray had put it on consent, so.
Okay.
And I sent you all the, concerns.
So we're gonna have that hold over.
Okay.
37 Milk Street, pool.
I don't see Lindsay online.
Is that, is a pool permissible at 37 Milk Street?
Is that the OHD? I didn't check them.
I don't
It's
think so.
not
I don't think
identified
it's, I don't think
as
it's,
OHD.
I don't think it is the OHD though. Map 41,
Because 39, we used to manage 39 construction work there, and that was,
is that
I thought
OHD?
that was one outside of the OHD.
Yeah, I'd have to pull up the map.
Okay,
mean,
so that's
even-
a question mark in any event.
Well, even if you did approve it, they wouldn't be able to, if they weren't able to have
Yeah, I'm
it.
not,
Right.
but I don't, if it is, there's no sense wasting our time.
Right, okay,
But I'm just a curiosity, because
right.
a little familiarity. It may be that it's actually quite a few houses over, but it's in that right area.
I might have forgotten to just highlight it green too.
Yeah, it's not on tonight. We have approval of minutes. By the way, I think, budgeting 8 to 10 minutes an application and people showing up, we typically would have a full night till 8:30 beyond. So I wouldn't suggest modifications. I think we're just, we seem to be having holdovers, and then we're also working very efficiently. So I'm good with the way we're proceeding. I just want to have stated that for general knowledge. And with that, I will ask that we get a motion to approve the minutes of April 8th, May 20th, and May 27th, all of the current year.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye, regular board.
Aye.
Aye.
Maybe a no, not having read.
Me too.
And Val's a no. And the next HEC meeting after a fun-filled 4th of July celebration is July 8th, and it is an old business week. We will have 5 Candle coming back, so don't
5
forget to-
Candle?
Aren't we?
No, you mean 10 New Whale?
No.
You're talking about the other one.
Yeah.
10 New Whale.
The one that we
Five.
looked at
Yeah,
today.
but we have to discuss.
New whale.
Yeah.
Did you sign that?
Okay, I'm gonna sign that, and with that information.
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you so much. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Before 7
Meeting will
o'clock.
close
Do we have
at
the coconut one to sign
6:54.
yet?
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Carrie.
Yeah, that's great.
Nighty night.
Nighty night.
Oh, no, we're heading into a deep, dark recession.
It's called summertime. Did you want to write something on it?
It was.
Do you want this